In the 1960s, Mary Quant changed the look of Britain. It was bang in the middle of the decade that Londoners whose sense of style had always been sneered at suddenly began to assert themselves. Something had happened in the boutiques that dotted Chelsea's King's Road. They were selling daring new designs for the under-30s that were catching the imagination of trendsetters around the world.
A young woman has changed the dress ideas, the outlook on clothes of the new generation throughout the Western world, Mary Quant. The artist in her sensed that millions of young girls longed for something entirely different. Being one of them, so did she. In her own sample room, she turned her designs into clothes. They quickly caught on, not only in this country, but in many others. Her flair for design met with almost instant success. And without intending to, she soon became a one-woman export drive. Autumn fashions were shown in the spring to buyers of more than 50 countries, whose young generation was eager to join the new trend. Mary's insistence on short skirts amazed many buyers until they reflected that girls in Milan and Minneapolis are now demanding what Britain already has.
Mary Quant was one of a generation of graduates from London's art schools whose designs would help to change the way women looked in what became known as the swinging 60s. She began with a small boutique in the King's Road and within 10 years had become an international industry. She wasn't interested in expensive salon designing. She wanted ordinary working women to be at the strutting edge of high fashion, and she dressed them literally from head to toe. In her golden year, 1965, when her designs were dominating the high streets of cities throughout Europe and the United States, she received a special award for her services to industry. Still in her 20s, she had become a glittering world figure, and the news media were beginning to give her the sort of attention normally reserved for film stars.
When Mary Quant invades new realms of fashion, bright young girls are interested, and so is the national press. As the outcome of 2 years' hard work, Mary has perfected the very thing the new generation had been hoping for. Boots and shoes that are distinctive, comfortable, washable, and nearly indestructible. Mary believes that footwear should fit like a glove. Wear the latest kind when you're young, and in later life, you'll never complain that your feet are killing you. That sounds like a wonderful future, viewed from any angle.
I wanted to make fashion democratic. My first job was in sort of couture workrooms. Actually, I made hats. One spent 3 days stitching a hat for one woman. All that I thought was terribly wrong, and that fashion wasn't just for the few. Fashion was for me and us and everybody and so on. I certainly felt that very strongly. But also, I was very full of the sort of elation that was happening then. It really was the first time that emancipation of women became possible. And inevitably, one produces the sort of things that reflect the way one feels at the time. Everybody wanted to look as though they were very young, whether they were or they weren't. Whereas now, everybody wants to look, and it's a very good thing. They want to look grown up and more subtle.
So long, goodbye, I'm out of here. I'm going, so it's time to get in gear.
But in the end, Mary Quant had to pay her own painful price for making fashion more democratic. The more she prospered, the more she was copied, until the Mary Quant look became diluted and lost its distinction. In the 70s, she expanded into textiles and a whole range of cosmetics. The money poured in, but the magic had gone. But she will be remembered for generations to come as the woman who gave us the miniskirt.